Hey, Meghann Scully, and this is the Limerick Post Show coming to you from the Belltable Theatre here in Limerick City. Rehearsals are back, stage is back, theatre is back, and we're going to head on in and chat to actor Karl Quinn all about Paul Mead's latest production, SHAM. You spoke about the energy there in theatres, and I think there's kind of a giddiness as well in the air for people getting back, not just as people working on the production, but those who are going to be sitting in these seats as well. And the reason, of course, we are here is SHAM, written by Limerick's Paul Mead as well. And I have to say, I loved when I read the first line. It's like based on kind of Shakespeare's Hamlet, but set in gangland Limerick. So tell us more about this show.
Yeah, it's a really it's a phenomenal show, by the way. It's really a fascinating kind of show. So, like, I suppose a Shakespearean tragedy is really all about an epic, something really big that puts a lot of pressure on people. And that's, I think, what we're looking at here as well. We're looking at a family, two families, and we're looking at an intense amount of pressure being put on those two families. And all the way up through their lives, you know, there's two young people in particular in the story, and the amount of pressure that being in this family, in this gang feud, and the various oppressions that they suffer throughout their lives. So it's like, you know, condensing all of that to that dramatic point where it's all going to explode. I mean, because my character dies halfway through, so then I watch the rest of the show, and I just love watching it, you know, which is always a good sign.
And I suppose as well, you know, you're speaking there about the gangland, I guess is something that people of Limerick know from previous years. And also I've noticed as well on television that, you know, there are shows on now about the gangs around Ireland, and, you know, it's really compelling, and it's what people actually really want to consume. Like, people are really into this, I think, and kind of really want to watch it and be part of it.
I think so, yeah. I think there's a certain fascination with violence and power, and how those sort of dynamics work. I think that what's always interesting is where we find our way into them, you know. Sometimes it allows us to sort of act out things that we would never normally do. Other times it allows us to sort of reflect on how lucky we are that we don't have as many oppressions, or we don't have as many difficulties to get through in our own lives. But I think it's always important, and I certainly think that we're sort of responsible for the storytelling, that it's not about glamorizing. It is about sort of just pulling things apart and going, what's going on here, and why are these things happening, and, you know, are there different routes? I mean, you know, the central character is trying to get out. So that's really one of the main things that's happening in the play. Somebody saying, I want to leave this. And so looking at how that person is pulled back in and why, and you know, I think with all drama is essentially looking at possibilities in some ways, you know. If we see them in other people and we see them acted out, then we can reflect and find other possibilities potentially, as well as being entertained.
And I guess it gives people insight and understanding into maybe people who are maybe stuck in those kind of lifestyles, or that were, and how you said, trying to get out and find themselves being pulled back in again. And I think it's going to be absolutely compelling. And I know it did take you from rehearsals, so I know you have to get back. But Karl Quinn, thank you so much for chatting to us here in the Belltable Theatre, and we look forward to watching SHAM unfold on the stage.
Pleasure. Thanks a million.
SHAM opens in the Belltable Theatre next Wednesday, the 17th of November, and you can get your tickets from limetreetheatre.ie.